Welcome back to ciLiving. Local author Ekta R. Garg believes that you are never too old to enjoy fairy tales. So she is adding a bit of magic into her stories. She is joining us today to share more about her books, including her newest release. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
All right, so tell me first about The Witch's Apprentice.
Sure. So The Witch's Apprentice and Other Stories is a micro collection of short stories based on the fairy tales and the nursery rhymes that we all know and love. And it fills in the gaps of those stories by answering very serious questions like, why did Jack and Jill need that pail of water in the first place?
That's a really good point, because I feel like, especially with kids, they ask those questions of their parents.
Yeah.
So then why not have a book for the parents to then be able to answer those fairy tale questions?
Exactly. And I wanted to come and share this today because I know that Wicked is out today for all of you Wicked fans. And the title story, The Witch's Apprentice, is actually based on The Wizard of Oz, which Wicked is, of course, as well. And so I thought it might be fun for readers to come and find out about my book and check it out.
And without too many spoilers, are you able to tell us what The Witch's Apprentice is, sort of an overview, what it's about?
Sure, absolutely. So we know that in the original story, that Dorothy's house comes and lands on the Wicked Witch of the East, right? And if you read the original story of The Wizard of Oz, you'll see that the Wicked Witch of the East gets like maybe 1 or 2 lines. My question for the story was, what was she doing in the middle of the road in the first place when the house landed on her? So I wrote the story to answer that question.
That's really cool. I like that your inspiration sort of is drawn from things that you probably have always just wondered about, the whys of these, I guess, stories that we sort of take for granted. And I know a lot of your inspiration comes from grief, magic, and hope sort of combined together. Can you talk a little bit about why sort of those are your 3 pillars?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, grief is one of those things that we all experience. And I think on the other end of grief, we also do experience hope. And I'm a firm believer in the fact that we should just agree that there is a little bit of magic. You know, there are always those incidents that happen that we can't quite explain. I think it is a little bit of magic. I don't think you're ever too old to believe in that. So that's why I think it's important to look at those things, and that's why I write about all 3 in all of my books.
All right, so you brought your other books as well. So let's start down at that end. What is that book?
So In the Heart of the Linden Wood is an original fairy tale for grown-ups. It's about a grieving king who has to go on a quest to save his kingdom from a major threat. And while he's on that quest, he's going to have to rescue some hostages and mend another broken heart piece by piece, all while he's struggling with whether he's worthy of his crown and the memory of his late wife.
Oh, wow. That sounds like it's sort of heavy, but with hope.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what about this one?
So The Truth About Elves is perfect for the holiday season. My readers tell me this one makes a great stocking stuffer. It is about a man named Curtis who works part-time for Santa as an elf. Santa asks him for a favor that he really doesn't want to do, but he kind of owes Santa one, so he does it, and it takes him back to the place that he thought he'd never see again, which is home.
Interesting. Yeah. Which then sort of brings up the question of, where have the elves ended up at the North Pole from? Where is home for all of the elves?
Yeah, well, you'll have to read the book to find out.
I was going to say, it sounds like it for sure. And then tell me a little bit about how you became an author, sort of what's inspired you to start writing these stories.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always been a reader. I've been reading since I was in preschool, and I think it was just a natural progression. I was also one of those kids who competed in spelling bees. So I've been surrounded by stories and words my whole life. And so I think it was just sort of inevitable that I became an author.
All right, so let's talk about spelling, because that is something that I have never been excellent at. I grew up when, you know, spell check was becoming, and I lost in the first round of a spelling bee. But for you, what is the hardest spelling bee word that you ever, like, you know, were handed and expertly just rattled off?
Oh my gosh, that's a really hard question to answer because it's been a very long time since I've done spelling bees.
Do you remember the word that you got wrong? Because I feel like you always remember those words that you get wrong, right?
I do. I was in the Scripps National Spelling Bee in the 8th grade, and they gave me the word beatific, which means extremely blessed, and I spelled it completely wrong, and I think I was up to round 5 by then, so unfortunately I got out. But I was like in the top 80 spellers, so I guess that was okay.
That's incredible.
Out of 200 and some odd spellers, yeah, it's not bad.
Do you know how to spell it now, I assume?
I do, Beatific, because you are right, you never forget the one that you got wrong.
Right, and now you are fully redeemed because you have spelled it correctly right here on ciLiving when I put you on the spot.
Right, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing all of your stories with us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And if somebody wants to get one of your books, where can they find them?
They can absolutely go to my author website. It is ektargarg.com, just like my name, with no spaces or periods or anything. And order one for me and I'll send it to you.
Check out her books. Well, ciLiving will continue in just a few minutes, so don't go anywhere.